It's like going to a Broadway show, like multiple Broadway shows in one weekend.
It doesn't get better than A View from the Edge with Mark Cassetta.
It's funny, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna pee your pants, you're gonna make new decisions coming out of there.
Absolutely gonna love it, your team is gonna love it. This event is one that you cannot miss. Get your ticket, we'll see y'all there.
What's holding you back? What is your problem? What's stopping you from living the life God intended you to live? You need to step up right now. This isn't just a seminar. This is your life.
So honored, so blessed to be here. What better way to start 2023?
Welcome to NatCon 2023. Let's go.
This is my first event.
This is my second big event.
And I wish that you could feel the energy in this room.
You need this opportunity.
I believe you can do it.
Why not you? Why not now? Don't miss another one. Get to the next big event. You should be here.
You have a chance to make it big.
Your sentences become your sentences.
Welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now, let's hear our special guest host, Belle Crause.
Good morning, everybody. It's very rare that I get to say good morning, everybody, because I'm here on the West Coast. And normally when I'm on a call, it's morning my time and it's later in the day everywhere else. But the activity call, I love how it just kicks off the Friday, gets you inspired and gets you warmed up and ready to go crush this thing. All right. I am Belle Crause out of Puyallup, Washington. My husband, Jake, and I are just honored and blessed to be a part of this Alliance team. And It's a sacred responsibility to be asked to be on here on the activity call today. I remember when we first came to the Alliance, and I would look at the leaders on these calls, and I was just so inspired and so drawn in, and to have the privilege of being asked to now be one of those hosts to lead that call. It's a truly humbling experience, and one that I don't take this responsibility lightly. So since you're up and you're here, if you're here on the West Coast, we're up early, we're here to be fed. And so we hope to bring you the bread that you need to sustain you with the activity to get things done. Real quick, I got a call from Andy Albright this morning. He and Jane are back fresh from Africa. Y'all, they went and had a 15-day African vacation extravaganza. The two of them out there living the dream. And I aspire to be able to do that one day with Jake and I and on our family, to go on experiences like that. And Andy called this morning, and he's just letting me know that, y'all, our company, we are breaking records, y'all. We are breaking records. Production is skyrocketing. Number of new writers is through the roof. More people getting started, getting after it, making it happen right out the gate. And annuity production, we're breaking records in annuity production this year already. Y'all, it's February. It's February. Well, you know what? It's last few days of February. So in my mind, it's already March, because like what we're doing right now is building momentum for March. So if you was waiting until March to get started, today's your day. You're going to get out there and get started today, because the work you do today will show up in March, right? We got to plow the ground. We got to plant the seed. We got to, get that harvest through the process. And so, y'all, I'm just fired up today. I'm fired up. So fasten your seatbelt, because sometimes I'm on with other people, and they can help kind of control the enthusiasm a little bit. But if I ain't got that temperature gauge, y'all, who knows? Who knows what kind of level this excitement will get to here today? So I know you guys are on here because you're here for the nuts and bolts of some things. This is the activity call. This is where we talk about the do. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we make things happen. And this morning, I want to talk to y'all about how to maximize your appointment schedule, how to fill that puppy up to the brim, so full that you have to start no-showing the appointments. Radical thought, I know. Some of y'all are like, no, we can't no-show a client. When you have so many appointments, and you're writing business in one, and it runs long, right? Because you love the one you're with, and it runs long because you helped them with 3 or 4 apps, and then you got 2 more that you missed. You got to pick, right? Which one am I going to go to? Which one was the strongest? Which one do I believe I'm going to be able to help today, and go to that one first? Y'all, sometimes if your schedule's so full, you don't worry about people no-showing you, because you're so busy, you're going to have to loop back around to the ones that you missed and say, I'm sorry, I've helped so many families today. The time just crunched me, and I've got to get you rescheduled. I promise I'll make you a priority tomorrow. We'll be out there first thing, right? Who wants that problem? Who wants the problem that you have so many appointments that you're sitting, that you have to no-show people on your calendar and circle back to them and pick them up on a cleanup sweep? That's what kind of business I like. That's the kind of day I like, right? So I'm going to show y'all, I'm going to teach y'all what we have done, what we have failed, how to make that happen for you. And before we get into that, I would be remiss to not bring up some, let's see here, some reasons why. Why is it that some people pack their schedule like that and some don't? Why is it you see some people out there writing 10, 15,000 in a week and some don't? So I'm going to give you a little bit of inspiration this morning, I hope. Don't worry, it does not come from me. It comes from people smarter than me, people wiser than me. And so let's see if I can bring this up here. Tia, I think y'all can see that slide there. So this is from one of my favorite books. I got it right here. Y'all, I've gone through so many of these. I hand these out to everybody on our team. If anybody on my team doesn't have one, let me know. I buy these things by the case. The New Common Denominator of Success. I have read this book, which I think they call it an essay or a speech, but it's bound like a book. So I count it as a book, right? Because we read books here at the Alliance. I have read this book, I probably think 100 times. And each time I read it, it has more and more wisdom for me in there. And that may sound crazy. I've got it tabbed. I've got it underlined. I've done this to many of them because I'll take the one I had, my personal, and I'll hand it to somebody. I'm like, shoot, I got to get me another one. I got to go back to it because the wisdom that's in here is timeless. And at each stage of my development, each stage of my growth, each stage of my business, I have found deeper wisdom in this book. And so the first thing I want to share with you is that every single qualification for success is acquired through habit. It's acquired through habit. When I first heard that, y'all, it gave me so much hope. It gave me so much hope because I'm not a talented person. I'm not a real smart person. I'm a product of the Southeastern Kentucky public education system. That's me. I wouldn't rank very highly on some sort of academic test. Right? Half the time I'm taking notes and I don't even know if I spelled the words right. I don't consider myself highly educated or a book smart or academic smart person. But when I heard that success is done through habit, well, I can do some things. I don't have to be a genius to copy an activity somebody else is doing. I just have to be willing to copy it. So people form their habits and their habits form their future. Their habits form their future. You ever see somebody who's in good shape? We got some great people, leaders here in the Alliance that are in great physical health, that they're in great physical condition. And it's their habits that got them there. Me, I'm a little soft around the middle. I'm carrying a little extra. And those are my habits. I can't blame my DNA. I can't blame my genetics. I can't blame those things because I know it's my habits. And the reason I know that is there's been times I've trimmed down. And there's been times I've muscled up, right? So it's in me to do it, but I haven't formed the consistent habits to keep it that way. Y'all, I'm a work in progress too. We all working it out, right? Ain't none of us perfect. Working on stuff here. But you can form the habits that will form your future. So if you can put a vision out there of what you want your future to look like, pick somebody in the Alliance that is your role model. Pick somebody whose business you want to emulate. Like I want my business like Andy Albright's. I want my business like Andy Riddle's. I want my business like take your pick and then find out what they do. Find out what they did when they were at your stage, right? Because we can't just jump into that level right away. Sometimes we have to grow to that. So what did they do when they were at the stage that you're at right now? And do that, because that's the road that led them to where they are. And then lastly, if you don't deliberately form good habits, then you're going to unconsciously form the bad ones. Like if you don't on purpose get up and go to the gym, then unconsciously you're not forming a good habit. You're forming the habit of not being as active as you should be. It wasn't that you did something wrong. It's that you're not doing something right. It's not that you did something wrong. It's that you're not doing something right. And so if you're not on purpose, intentionally forming the habits, the good habits, to get you where you want to go, whether it's in business, whether it's in your physical health, whether it's in a relationship, if you're not deliberately forming the good habits, then unconsciously you're just living out the bad ones. And that's going to get you some results that you don't want. It's going to get you some results that you want. So be aware of the habits that you're forming. Be intentional about the habits that you're forming. And then I love this quote from Aristotle. We are what, and I'm looking at another screen, y'all, because I ain't smart enough to have the notes like right in front of me and all that. So bear with me. We are what we repeatedly do. So excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. It's not an act, but a habit. So when you see those top producers on stage at National Convention, when you see those top builders on stage at National Convention, it is because they have formed the habits. They have formed the habits that it takes to be excellent at their craft. They've formed the habits to be excellent at their craft. And see how today, that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at what are some of those habits? What do we need to do to make ourselves to the level that they are? that our role models are, the people that we're chasing. And again, you can have a role model in business. You can have a role model, a couple that's a role model for your marriage. You can have a health role model. You can have a role model for every aspect of your life, and you can pursue excellence in those aspects. It is up to you to make those changes. And y'all, ain't none of us perfect, right? I ain't preaching, I'm confessing. I ain't preaching, I'm confessing. There's areas of my life I got to get better habits. I'm wearing a glucose monitor right here. My doctor told me years ago I was pre-diabetic. If I look at the genetics of my family, that would tell me a lie of a destiny that is not on me. That is not on me, right? I can choose to believe the lie, and I can choose to unconsciously form those bad habits that I saw so many of my family members form. And I could just go along and say, well, that's just how it's going to be. Or I could take the wisdom that I have learned through the coaching and association here at the Alliance that says the same intensity of habit that I can put toward my business, I can put toward my health too. So I have this monitor, and yeah, we pay to have it monitored. I can check on my phone what my blood sugar is at any time during the day. So I know, am I eating the right thing? Am I doing the right activity to be healthy? Because y'all, my goal, I'm living to 110. I'm going to have a successful business. I'm going to have a successful marriage. I'm going to have a successful life. And in order to get all that, I want to enjoy it. And I'm going to live to 110. And in order to meet that goal, Lord, I got to make some habits. I got to change some habits. And I've got to look at what would be on paper as an impossibility. On paper, it says your family tree don't do that. I am a chain breaker in my family. We are going to change that through the power of habit, So y'all just stick with me here. Stick with me. I promise we'll get going. Let me see here if I can work my slides here. So when we talk about those habits, when we talk about, those top producers on stage, Sue Love blew my mind. Y'all remember Sue Love? She was Rookie of the Year. She was like winning those different categories on stage at conference. If y'all didn't go to conference, you missed a great time. We had so much fun. We learned a lot. Don't get me wrong. We learned a lot. Tell the IRS we worked, right? Tell them we worked. That trip's a write-off. But y'all, we had so much fun. And when we celebrated our victories from last year, I was so inspired by her. Because out the gate, she was doing some phenomenal things. And I wanted to know what set her apart from the other people who got started last year. What set her apart? And I have found what sets successful people apart. So I'm going to share this slide again. Y'all don't get dizzy on me. I'm going to be back and forth. I'm a little ADD here when we do this kind of stuff. So here we go. Successful people are influenced by the desires for pleasing results. Successful people are influenced by the desires for pleasing results. Failures are influenced by the desires for pleasing methods. And I love what Marcus said. I put his quote on here because it kind of sums it up in my language. Like I said, I'm from southeastern Kentucky, and sometimes people got to break it down. We used to say, break it down big bird style. You got to put it down at a level that my brain can comprehend it. My brain can, what's that my kids call render? When your computer's rendering something, it's taking it a while to think and pop it up on it. My brain needs to render this stuff. So Marcus says, you can have a result or you can have an excuse. Which do you want? A result or an excuse? Successful people are after results. They're going to do some unpleasing methods. And y'all don't be confused. Unpleasing does not mean unethical, does not mean immoral. That's not what that means. It means tough. It means stuff they don't like to do, stuff that's not enjoyable to do. So if somebody says, I like to get my dial started by about, 10 o'clock, I want to get my dial started by about 10 o'clock because that's what I like to do. I don't like to disturb people early. That's a pleasing method. And I promise you, it will not get you the results you are after. If you're trying to be a top producer, it will not get you the results you're after. If you are trying to earn the trips, oh my Lord, don't even get me started on the trips. If you're trying to earn the income that your family needs to replace that job, right? You can choose a pleasing method or a pleasing result, but you can't have both. You cannot have both. So this is what we're going to get into here. So keep that in the back of your mind. What am I after? Am I after a result, or am I after a method that I'm okay doing? Right? I was coaching with an agent here a few weeks ago, and this agent told me, it's like, I found my groove. I found what's working for me when I'm making my dials and when I'm running my appointments. I found a process that's very smooth. And I was looking at his numbers, and he's not submitting business. And I'm like, you found a method that you liked, a method you're comfortable with, but you're not getting results. You're not helping families. So what he had found was a comfortable method, not a pleasing result. He found a pleasing method that he was okay. He was okay with the method, but it wasn't getting the results, and he couldn't understand why. And it's because usually the results lie within the discomfort of the active methods that are proven to work, that y'all, none of us enjoy. Like, none of us enjoy being on the phones by 7 a.m. Let's just face it, I don't enjoy it. But what we do enjoy is helping those families. What we do know is when they call to make a claim, and because we got up early and went to work, there is a resource for that family. What we do know is that when they list the list of trip earners, y'all, we're going to Ireland in April. We're going to New Zealand next year. It is written. It is happening because we chose the hard. We do it not because it is easy. We do it because it is hard. Because it's not common. Success is not common. It is something you fight for. And who do you fight for it? Yourself. You fight yourself. You fight your habits. You fight your comforts. You fight what's familiar. You fight yourself every single day for the success that's out there for you and your family, for the good it's going to bring in your community. Y'all, I'm a firm believer we can change the world starting in our own backyard, starting in our own communities. You work right here in your community, you will make a difference. And that difference will have a ripple effect. And y'all, I don't live in all the communities. That's why we need everybody else, right? I'm making an impact in my community. You make an impact in yours, and you make an impact in yours, and you make an impact in yours. And together we change things. Together, our society changes. Together, poverty gets its little tail kicked. It gets it kicked. So, all right, y'all, I better calm down. I need a sweat cloth like Doc Rock gets. He gets a sweat cloth. I need to get me one of those. So let's see. Where are we at here? I'm running out of time. Okay, so here we go. We're going for some nuts and bolts. I gave y'all some of my heart. There'll be more of that to come. Now I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts, and just be prepared. Get your steel-toed boots on. I'm going to step on some toes today. I'm going to step on some toes. I'm going to say things, and people will be shocked at what I say on what we do. Top producers won't be shocked. Top builders won't be shocked. But there are some of y'all out there that will be shocked that I didn't know that was the degree to which we needed to do these things. I was making dials. I didn't know I needed to do that degree of dials, that level of dials, right? So this is what we're going to do here. In this book, right? So wiser words than mine. Successful people have formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Successful people have formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. So I'm going to share this screen again. Here we go, back and forth. So here we are. We're going to talk about your schedule. We're going to talk about your lead flow, your raw material. We're going to talk about your dials. And we're going to talk about your door knocks. That's what we're going to talk about. Now, each one of these topics could be its own 1 hour long training, y'all. So it's not going to be like the most in-depth of every part. What I want to show you is a level of activity in each of these areas to pursue. A level of activity to pursue. And then you can get with your coach, you can get with your manager, and you can get the deeper level of training on your schedule. Because y'all, we don't have the same schedule. I started part-time. And so I know what it's like to not have the same schedule as everybody else. I started 1 day a week, working my butt off every Saturday. Didn't take a Saturday off. every Saturday because it's the one day I had. But that was my schedule. But I learned how to leverage the schedule that I had without excuses. That's what I had to work with. And y'all, I worked the snot out of it. So when the part-timers come and ask me, say, well, how can I do that? I don't have a full-time schedule. Let me show you how to move a mountain one wheelbarrow at a time with the schedule you got. Start with what you got and start moving mountains, y'all. Start where you are. Don't worry that you don't have the same amount of time as everybody else because you work a job. Don't worry that you don't have the same amount of time to do as many dials. That's all right. You can work into that. You don't have to start here, but you have to start to get here. So that's what we're going to do here today. So schedule. When it comes to schedule, you need a calendar. You need a calendar. And lucky for us, they have the activity book, right? It is designed for our industry. It is designed for our business. Y'all get you an activity book. It's okay if you can't. They've made it so easy. You can print the sheets off of the ARC. Just go on ARC, our state-of-the-art CRM developed just for us. Andy Albright invested in the technology just for us to have for free to us. You know, I hate saying free because I know it cost Andy a lot. It cost Andy a lot. This was not free. It was handed to us by someone who put a lot of money where his mouth was. And he took that hit. He took that risk. He put that investment in there for us. So y'all don't ever forget, whenever you're handed anything, it was not free. It's just free to you. It's just free to you. And bring honor and respect to the person that handed it to you because they paid. They paid in their money. They paid in their blood, their sweat, their tears, their time. They paid a price for that because ain't nothing free, y'all. So anyways, that's my high horse there. All right. So you can print off the activity sheets, right? This is where you're going to track that schedule, right? And in your schedule, you need dial time and you need appointment time. Dial time and appointment time. And you need to assess the activities on my schedule. What are some things I can delegate off there? What are some things I can eliminate off of there? And what are some things I've got to do? Like I cannot, as much as I want to, get Jake to go to the dentist for me. He will not go get that crown for me. I've got to go myself. I've got to sit there, get my mouth all lined up and do. There are some things you have to do yourself, but there are other things that you can delegate. One of the most exciting things I ever delegated was the housekeeping. Y'all, I was so excited to delegate the housekeeping, right? Delegate the yard work, right? And by delegate, that means hire somebody, get somebody in the house to do it. And sometimes, y'all, let it go undone. Ooh, yikes. You know, I was a domestic CEO. For those who don't know what that means, I was a housewife. I was a stay-home mom for over a decade. The idea of letting the dishes sit in the sink over the night made my skin crawl until I found a bigger vision, until I found a bigger goal. And I figured, you know what? If no one else in the house cared enough to do them, it's all right. It'll wait. It ain't going to break their hearts. They won't remember that the dishes sat overnight. They won't remember, but they'll remember the provision that was there. They'll remember the experiences we got to go on because of the priority of work that got done, right? So you got to have dial time and you got to have time for appointments. For those of us that are full-time, if you are looking to go all out, if you are truly looking to go all out on production, full-time, all out, you dial on Monday to book 10 appointments on Tuesday and 10 on Wednesday, and then you dial again on Thursday to book 10 more for Friday and Saturday. Yeah, that's 40 appointments in 1 week. 40 in a week. If you want to see a level of success that you didn't dream possible, condense your timelines. Raise that bar of expectation. Raise that bar of what you believe to be possible. And people be like, well, you can't really do 40 in a week. Yeah, you can. You can. Top producers, I've known of some to book 50 appointments in a week. I've known them to book more than that. Yeah, we book them. That doesn't mean, remember what I said at the beginning, sometimes you're going to no-show people. Sometimes people going to no-show you. You're not going to sit all of them, right? But to have a shot, you got to get them on the calendar. So part-timers, maybe for you that's dial Monday evening and Tuesday, Monday evening to book 3 or 4 appointments on Tuesday evening, 3 or 4 appointments on Wednesday evening, you know, or maybe it's you dial Thursday and Friday evening to book 10 on a Saturday. Get with your manager to leverage your schedule. Don't show up with excuses. Show up with an open mind saying, how can I get this done? Teach me, show me, guide me where to put it. I bring what I got I'll bring what I got. You show me how to leverage it. And I promise you, those managers, those leaders, they are waiting to help you. They have wisdom. They have coaching. They have skills. They have guided others along this path before. Be willing, open, and humble enough to let them guide you into success. So that is your schedule. You're going to want your activity sheets. You're going to want time to do the work. Don't kid yourself that you can do this sometimes and be successful. You're going to help a few people if you do it sometimes, but that's all it'll be. Get intentional. Get intentional with your schedule. All right, let's see. Where am I? All right. And the schedule doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. What it is a reality check. It is a commitment to yourself. It is a commitment to yourself that you say, I am promising myself I'm going to do this that's on my calendar at the time that it's on my calendar, whether anybody calls and checks on me or not. So if I have a dentist appointment at 2 on Wednesday, I'm going to my dentist appointment at 2 on Wednesday. The same way, if I have marked dials at 7 a.m. on Monday, I'm dialing the phone at 7 a.m. on Monday. They're equally important. They're equally strategic in my calendar. I can't blow off one and say I commit to the other, because that's an integrity violation. You are breaking a promise to yourself. That's the worst kind of promise to break, is the ones to yourself. When you start breaking promises to yourself, you're forming a habit. You're unconsciously forming a bad habit. So then you become the type of person who breaks promises to themselves. Right? You'll either become the person who keeps your promises to yourself, or you'll become the person, allow yourself to be the person who breaks the promises to themselves. You get to pick. You get to pick. I'm not judging anyone's value. Every one of us are valuable in the sight. Well, I'm going to say in the sight of the Lord, because I'm a faith-based person. For those of you that are not faith-based, you have value. It's okay. We are all equally valuable human beings, right? It doesn't change your value, but it does change what you do, what you accomplish, right? You become the person that keeps your promises to yourself or breaks your promises to yourself. And that's up to you. That's up to you. All right. Next is lead flow. Lead flow. Oh, Lord, I can't believe I'm 27 minutes in already. So lead flow, raw material. You need people to call. If you're going to book 10 appointments on Tuesday, 10 on Wednesday, 10 on Friday, 10 on Saturday, if you're going to book 40 appointments, you need people to call, right? So you need raw material. And by raw material, that can be your warm market. That can be referrals. That's more than likely you're going to need some leads. You're going to need some leads, and that's okay, because you can't sell cheeseburgers without hamburger buns, right? So you're going to need some leads. It can be current clients. It can be a mix of all those things, right? But here's what you need. You need 50 to 100 new to you names and numbers each week. New to you. That doesn't mean it's a brand new lead. It can be a 2-year-old lead. It can be a 1-month-old lead, right? It doesn't have to be brand new, right? It just needs to be new to you. So 50 to 100. And you're like, wow, Belle, 50 to 100 leads, that's a lot. Well, how are you going to book 40 appointments if you ain't got 50 to 100 leads? Now, when you get started, you need even more. Like if you're like me, I've been doing this a while. I got stacks like this that I've been accumulating over the years, right? I can still call that. I've created my own 2-year-old lead by how long I've had it and not gotten it done, right? That happens. But when you're getting started, you need raw material. You need ingredients. Success has a recipe, and you need the ingredients. Ain't nobody going to make a cake without flour. And I don't care how good a baker you are. I don't care how good a salesperson you are. If you ain't got people to see, you ain't selling nothing. You ain't selling nothing. You need the ingredients for the success to work, right? So 50 to 100 new to you names and numbers each week to reach out to. And sometimes, y'all, that won't be enough to fill your calendar. So lucky for us, we got 2 dial days. So on Sunday, you get your leads to dial on Monday, and you work those things Tuesday and Wednesday. And on Thursday, right, it's okay to buy more leads. It's okay to get more leads to freshen that stack on Thursday. Revolutionary, buy leads 2 times a week. Yes. If you want to do what others don't, you got to do what others don't. You have to up your game in the activity sector. And unless you can find a way to get in front of more people interested in what we have. Now, I know there's some people who go out there and they prospect a lot. They will spend a lot of their time trying to generate interest in an appointment. Y'all, they're trying to create their own lead, and that's okay. It's not the most efficient. It's not the most effective, but people do it. It can happen, and it will slow you down because now you're talking to 100 people who don't want the conversation to find the one that does. I'd rather start out with a stack of people who already said they want the conversation, right? I'd rather start out with that stack. These people, somebody else took their time, their energy, their money, and prospected and boiled it down to this, and I'm buying their efforts. I can buy that all day long. I will buy an advantage any day of the week. Anybody out there, if you were told you had to dig a hole and you could either dig it with your bare hands, a spoon, a shovel, or a backhoe, well, you're going to buy the tool you have the resources to buy right now, and you're going to start digging until you have more money to buy a better resource. Buy yourself an advantage. Buy yourself an advantage on this board game of success and put it to work. Now, y'all, we've all known as managers, as leaders, we've seen people buy these and they don't call them. That's like trying to say, I'm going to dig that hole. I bought that shovel and I ain't going to use it. Still going to use my bare hands. We need a whole nother level of coaching for that person, y'all. Whole nother level of coaching. Maybe they don't know how to use the shovel. Maybe they're scared they'll get a splinter from the shovel. Maybe they're scared that they'll hit their foot with the shovel. I don't know, but we're going to have to coach them on how to use that shovel and get over the fear of using that shovel because that's the tool they got to dig the hole. This is the tool we got to build our business. Y'all use it. And don't take pictures of my lead. I'm calling them. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So 50 to 100. And if you don't know, like, okay, so I get it, Belle, I'll buy leads. What do I do? Get with your manager. Get with the LPT lead performance team. Yeah, we have an entire department, again, free to you. Andy Albright invested. He put his money where his mouth was. He put his money where his dream was. He put his resources out there for people like us to show up and use. And don't be disrespectful and not use what's there for you. Don't disrespect that sacrifice that you're not even going to use what's being handed to you. Call the LPT and get some guidance on, these are the areas I can run. Where are the leads? This is my budget. How can I get the most for my budget? Right? And don't be stingy on your budget, y'all. This is your future. This is how you make the money. Like if you're a cake baker and you want to be stingy on flour, you ain't going to sell very many cakes. You're not going to sell very many cakes. And so, like I said, y'all, get your steel-toed boots on because I'm stepping on some toes today, and I don't even apologize for it. Don't even apologize for it. We are at war. We are at war on poverty. We are at war of lack in our own homes. We're at war on lack in our communities. We are at war. This is no time to bring out the kid gloves. This is no time to look for the easy way. There is no easy way in war. There is no easy way to success. You tell me you want success, then to me you're saying I'm willing to get in the fight. And if you're willing to get in the fight with me, I'll show you how to take some punches. I'll show you how to throw some punches. I'll show you how to get back up again and again because I'll be getting right back up next to you. I'm taking the punches too. Andy Albright took the punches too, right? We're not leading from some safe place somewhere. We're in the fight with you. And we're trying to equip you. We're trying to help you. The U.S. military is not the biggest military in the world, but it is the most well-trained and the best equipped. And that's how we win. That's how we win. We are trying to equip you. We're trying to give you the best training and equipment possible in the industry so you can go win your war on poverty. You can go win your war of lack inside your own home. Once you win that war, then you can start spreading the wealth. You can't change your community if you can't even change your own home. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You start where you are and you grow from there. All right, y'all. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's on today. It's on today. So that's your leads. We have a lot of lead vendors. This is not the training for the lead vendors. Get with your manager. We have the top-notch leads. I can tell you this. Every lead vendor that is recommended has been battle tested by top producers here. Every one of them. We put our money where our mouth was. We ran those leads. right? We took the punches. Y'all, we've tested some that we said, don't tell people about these because we got our face beat in for you. We got our face beat in for you. We got our wallets emptied out for you. Like, and we didn't cry about it. We didn't cry about it. It's like we gave it a shot. We wanted to test it before we brought it to somebody else. That's what leaders do. They take the hard knocks first so they can guide you around. But if you want to touch that stove and find out it's hot for yourself, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you, but I can tell you stove's hot. What you do with that, it's on you. It's on you. We're all adults here. So that's what I got on that. All right. So that's the leads. Okay. So now once you have your leads, you're going to dial. We are going to dial those leads, right? Now, this is where a lot of people get tripped up. This is how we dial. We take the number on that lead and we call it and we let it ring 4 times. And if no one's answered in 4 times, we hang up. And then we immediately call it back again and let it ring 4 times. And if nobody's answered, we hang up and immediately call it back again for a 3rd time. And we let it ring 4 times. Now, if this is the first time I've ever worked that lead, say it's Monday, I got this on Sunday, I'm going to, after the 3rd dial, that's what I do in the morning, right? And then I'm going to dial it 3 times. I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to go on to the next. And I'm going to do that through my whole stack, right? Now, if it's Thursday and I hadn't gotten a hold of them, this is your next level of attack, y'all. Next level of attack. You ready for this? I'm about to blow some minds. So on Monday, I dialed it 9 times, right? Because we do a dial session in the morning, a dial session in the afternoon, dial session in the evening. And that dial session, y'all, you cycle through every lead you have. That's right. What? Belle, you said 50 to 100. Uh-huh. Some of those numbers ain't going to be any good, and you ain't going to call it but once. Some of those people are going to answer, so you're only going to call it once. Some people answer on the 2nd dial, right? Some people, it'll be the wrong number, right? But during that first dial session, if you got 50 new leads, plan on making 150 dials in the first dial session, the first session, right? Because if nobody answers and all the numbers are good, you're going to call each one of those 3 times in the morning, not in the day. In the morning, because if nobody's answering, y'all, we have cell phones. We're not doing the doot thing anymore. You hit the number and it dials itself again. So don't play around and tell me how do you get it done. If nobody's answering that phone, nobody's answering, then let me see your dials, because you should have made at least 45 to 50 dials an hour if ain't nobody answering the phone. So if you come to me and say nobody's answering and I don't see it at least 45 to 50 dials an hour, there's something missing there. Something's incongruent there, right? Accountability. Marcus talked about operating above the line of accountability or below the line of accountability. Where are you operating on that line? You tell me nobody's answering, I better see the activity that backs up that nobody's answering. I've raised teenagers. I've been a teenager. I know what they try to say. We've been there. We're moms. We know. Now, we'll be gentle with you at first, unless you told me you have a goal that's just burning in your heart and you just do anything to get. You tell me that, I'm gonna coach you at a whole new level of love because I love you. All right. So you're going to dial it in the morning and you're going to do the same thing in the afternoon and the same thing in the evening. And so on Monday, with those 50 new leads, you're going to make, what is that? 450 dials? You're going to make 450 dials on Monday. On Monday. Set that in your mind. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Again, some people are going to answer. Some people are going to book appointments. Some people are going to tell you, don't call me back, which you will on Thursday anyway, so don't worry about that. We'll get to that. Some's going to be a wrong number. Some's going to be a bad number, disconnected, whatever. So you might not have to do 450. But I promise you, if you're sitting there with your mind saying, I'm going to make 450 dials, you're going to book some appointments. But the goal is really to book the appointments. I don't care if you make 600 dials. If you didn't book the appointments, you didn't get it done. Because dials don't make us the money. Getting in front of people makes us the money. This is how we get in front of people. So if this is the 2nd dial day on my leads, y'all, you ready for this? We have to take this to fight level 2. We got to up our war game. So what I do on Thursday when I'm dialing the lead that I dialed on Monday, so again, I dialed it 9 times on Monday and couldn't reach it. So come Thursday, I'm going to dial it 3 times in the morning, and then I'm going to leave a message. And I'll bring up a screen that says the message that I leave, but it goes something like this. Hi, Mary, this is Belle. We've been trying to reach you about the paperwork you sent in for those final expense programs here in Pierce County, and I've been assigned as your case manager. We just need to get you scheduled so we can go over those programs and answer any questions that you have. Please give me a call back at 253-686-8255. 855-677-3460. If I don't hear back from you in the next couple hours, I'll try you again this afternoon. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye. And I hang up. And then I text them, and I have this text message saved in my phone, and it says pretty much the exact same thing. Hi, Mary, this is Belle. I just left you a voicemail. We've been trying to reach you about the request you sent in for the final expense programs here in Pierce County, and I've been assigned as your case manager. I just need to schedule a time with you to go over those programs and answer any questions that you have. Please give me a call back at 253-677-3460. If I don't hear back from you in the next few hours, I'll try you again this afternoon. Thanks a bunch. It's the same thing. So now I dialed it 3 times, I left a message, and I texted it. And I'm going to do that in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. So by Thursday evening, again, second dial day on that set of leads, I've called it another 9 times, I've texted it 3 times, and I've left 3 voicemails. The voicemail in the afternoon says the same thing, except if I don't hear back from you next couple hours, I'm going to try you again this evening. And here's the kicker. The evening voicemail and text message. This is what gets people to call you back. You say, it's the evening, Mary, this is Belle. I've left you several messages today trying to get a hold of you to get you scheduled. If I don't hear back from you in the next few hours, I'm going to try to stop by tomorrow in between appointments and see if we can't get you taken care of. Please give me a call back. And I leave my number again. I told them I'm coming. I have give them, we call that, what we call that in the Army, a warning order. They got a warning order. I'm coming. Because y'all know what happens when you can't get a hold of somebody, you go door knock it. So on Tuesday or Friday or whatever day I'm out there, right, and I get a no-show, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go door knock that person. And I'm going to show up at the door and I'm going to say the same thing. So y'all, when we talk about the level of attack on our dials, if you are not calling it 3 times in a row in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and then calling it 3 times in a row on a second dial day and leaving a message and texting, the American senior citizen is the most heavily marketed to demographic in the world. They received more phone calls from automated systems, from robo-dialers, from people, the car warranty people loved them, right? They'll call them 5 and 6 times a day. If you've ever sat in a home with a final expense client, you have heard their phones ring off the hook. And here's what I know. If you don't separate yourself from them, you will never get a hold of them. You'll never get a hold of them. You have to separate yourself from all the background noise. You have to separate yourself. And if they didn't answer when I called it 9 times on Monday, and then another 3 times Thursday morning, I've called them 12 times. They ain't answered. Guess what? They ain't going to. Unless I set myself apart. That's why I leave a message. That's why I send a text. And I do both because some people can't work their voicemails. They don't know how. Some people can't check their text messages. They don't know how. So I do both. I ain't leaving that to chance. I'm not taking a shot that ain't worth shooting at. I'm doing both because at the end of the day, I have a responsibility to get to as many of these as I can for their sake and for my family and for my community and for our future. Their future and mine. It's both our futures at stake. If I've got 2 families' futures at stake, what would I not do to make that happen? What would you not do? I mean, it's their future. It's ours. What are you doing? Right? What are you doing? Do everything you can to get a hold of them. So that's the dials. I am going to show a screen real quick because I get this all the time. People say, what'd you say? I didn't write it down fast enough. That's okay. Let me share the screen. And y'all, you don't have to take it verbatim. Get ready to do a screenshot. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words. Take a screenshot. I'm not going to leave it up there long. Adapt it. This is what I say. You know, I'm out in the Seattle area and I have a Southern accent. I sound different. People pick up on that out here. I don't know what you need to do to be authentic and to be set apart. You will find your voice. If you are trying to serve that family, you will have a service voice and you won't have a telemarketer voice. right? There's a lot of tonality that goes into this. There's a lot of pitch. There's a lot that goes into that. This is not the training for that. We have training on phone scripts, on how to say it, what to say, that sort of thing. So there's the voicemail. There's the text. They're very similar. I'm very consistent in my messaging to my clients, very consistent. There is no doubt what I'm trying to do is get them scheduled. Get them scheduled. That's what we do. All right. So that's my dial training there, guys. Again, at the end of the day, do what it takes to get in front of those clients. Now, for the door knocks, y'all, let me show you. I buy these things by the case. This is just a handful I pulled out of the drawer. I buy them by the case. These are sometimes what they say, it's the simplest thing that makes all the difference. Y'all, a sticky note has made us tens of thousands of dollars from a sticky note. If you ain't bought sticky notes, that y'all, there's no simpler investment for you to make. I use them for a lot, and I'm going to tell you what I'll use them for. Okay, so when I door knock, I have my clipboard. I always have my leads on a clipboard. And let me show you something. Here's a pro tip. You want a secret pro tip? Get a clipboard that's got like a low profile little, I don't know what you call that thing. I'm not smart enough. I don't know, a flippy thing, right? It's got a flippy thing that holds the papers on there. Get one with a flat profile. Do not get this thing here. It's going to get snagged on everything. You're going to drop your papers everywhere. You're going to look like a hot mess. Like if you got something like this, I use it as an example of what not to do, right? Don't do this. Throw that in the trash. And if you feel special, get them in colors. I color code mine, right? I have my door knock clipboard, and then I have my appointment clipboard, right? So I got two clipboards going because I know, get your door knocks ready ahead of time. And you know who you didn't reach. You know where you're going. Get your door knocks ready ahead of time. Don't be shocked if you get a no-show. It's going to happen. Don't be shocked if you get porched. That's when you show up, they're there and you're there, and they won't let you in, right? You stuck on the porch. Don't be shocked. It happens. Happens to everybody, right? Have your backup activity ready, which is your door knocks. Now, when I door knock, I have my activity book. Because I'm either going to run the appointment or I'm going to schedule. And then I have my clipboard on top of it like this when I go up to the door. And I'm wearing my lanyard. People are like, oh, I don't have a special lanyard. I use the one from conference, right? And what's great is that they got real high tech and they put that little barcode thing on there. So now when people scan it with their phone, my information shows up in their phone. I love it. So if you didn't go to conference, it's okay. You can make one. You can invest in a $3, $4 lanyard, and you can write, make one of these yourself, little card to go in there, just your name and your phone number. And then, like maybe you want to put your national producer number or your license number on something. I don't know. Just so people know who you are. Because here's what I found. You guys ever see those videos where people put on those bright colored, like bright orange hunting vests and a hard hat just to see how many places they can walk into without nobody stopping them? Y'all, a clipboard and a lanyard opens doors. That's what it does. It opens doors. It doesn't matter what it says. You show up with a lanyard on and a clipboard in your hand, right? And I'm not all loaded down with stuff, right? And you dress clean. Your breath smells good. Your hair is combed. You're not dressed in a suit. No, people think they're getting served legal papers at that point. They'll never open the door. Do not overdress for these appointments. And so I got my pencil. I got my notebook, right? And I got my clipboard. And I knock on the door. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock on the door and ring the doorbell. Going to do both. I don't know if the doorbell works or not. I don't know if they can hear it from where they are in the house. And then I'm going to wait about 2 minutes. And that 2 minutes seems like an eternity when you're just standing there. So I'm going to knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and step back from the door. You don't want to be up on somebody's door. That can seem intimidating for some of you big fellas out there. Like Brian Rojas, he knows. You don't stand up on that door. It'll scare people, right? You back off the door, and then you get a look on your face like you're a little confused. That's all. You look down at your clipboard, and you look up at the door, right? And you clipboard, and you're looking around like this. Kind of like, am I in the right place? I'm not sure. And then after about 2 minutes, if they don't come to the door, you're going to knock again and ring doorbell again. And you're going to wait another 2 minutes. And guess how many times you're going to do that? Three times. Magic number. Some people have mobility issues. Some people have hearing issues. I'm giving them every opportunity to respond. I'm not giving up on them quickly. I give them every opportunity to respond. If they don't answer, I leave. Look right here what I have ready every time on the bottom of my clipboard. My yellow stickies. They've already got my name and number on it because I know it's going to be on every one of them, right? I've got them partially filled out already. So I'm going to fill out one of those yellow stickies and I'm going to leave it on the door, right? If they answer, right, that goes something like this. It's going to sound very familiar. Hi, Mary, I'm Belle. We've been trying to reach you about this request you sent in, and I hand it to them. And I was assigned as your case manager. And normally we call to schedule an appointment, but we've not been able to get a hold of you. So I was just down the road on another appointment, and I thought I'd stop by and see if we could get you scheduled. Now, it normally takes us about 30 to 45 minutes to go through everything. Let's see here. Hey, if you've got the time, we can go ahead and knock it out right now and just get it done. Right? I'm trying to get in the house right now, but I'm trying to look like I'm not, because it's intimidating for an older person to have a stranger show up on their doorstep and say, let me in. That's intimidating. But if you position the conversation as if I'm here to serve you, been trying to get a hold of you, get you scheduled. Oh, I do have time right now. Do you have time right now? We'll just go ahead and take care of it. That's very non-threatening. It's very non-threatening. Yeah, we live in a scary world for these seniors. Respect that. Respect how that you can be perceived by these people. I'm not saying don't be persistent. We are persistent, but we're not intimidating. We're persistent, not intimidating. Now, if they let me in, great. We're going to go run that appointment. If they don't let me in, no, I ain't got time right now. I'm getting the kids off to school, or I got the grandkids today. There's no way I'd be able to pay attention. No worry. That's why I stopped by, is to get you scheduled. So let's see here. I could come back by later this afternoon. I have a 3:00 open. Would 3:00 be better? No, grandkids are staying the night. I can't do anything with those grandkids here. You know, it wears me out chasing. Oh, I understand. Let's see. Hey, I got tomorrow. What time are they going home? Right? What time are they going home? Okay, yeah. They're going home around noon tomorrow. I could be here by 2, give you an hour to recover. I know what it's like chasing those little ones. It's exhausting. How about I give you an hour to recover and I come by at 2:00 and we just have a relaxing conversation? No stress at all. And we'll just chit chat a little bit and get this taken care of. And then here's my magic sauce, y'all. You guys getting all Belle Crause tips today. They say, okay, 2:00's fine. Great. Let me give you an appointment reminder. Guess what an appointment reminder looks like, y'all? It looks like a yellow sticky. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to be like, oh, I'm out of appointment reminders. Here, let me turn one of these into an appointment reminder. I got to get me more of those. And I do. I ain't never had none, but I got to get me some. And all I do is take that yellow sticky and I mark out delivery notice and I write appointment reminder across the top. And I put their name, I put the date that we have the appointment, and I put the time on there. And then I put my little code, FE for final expense, and then my writing number, with a carrier or my NAE number or something. It don't matter to them what it is. It matters to me. I was like, here's an appointment reminder. It's sticky on the back so you can put it on the fridge so you don't forget me, because I'm coming back tomorrow too. And now they've done something physical, right? It's in their hands. It made it real to them. So they stick that on the fridge. I come back tomorrow too. Now, if you knock on the door, they answer and you can't get them booked. They're just like one of those people, arms crossed. No, I never did this. I show it to them. That's my handwriting, but I didn't do it, right? We all get those. None of us are immune to that. Okay. I've done everything I can to either book that appointment or run that appointment. And they're just not having none of it. They have none of it. It's like, okay, well, I guess the only thing left to do, Miss Mary, is to have you go ahead and sign right here that you're declining all cash benefits for your family through these programs. Declining them all. I need you to sign right here, and I just draw a line on the lead. I want you to sign right there that you're declining all cash benefit programs available through here for your family. Go ahead and sign that and date that. All right. Now, you do realize you've just declined everything. If you ever want to reinstate your request, you're going to have to give me a call. Let me give you a contact notice. Guess what that contact notice looks like, y'all? It's a yellow sticky. And it says contact notice on it. I'm like, shoot, Miss Mary, I'm out of contact notices. But I tell you what, since I care so much about this, I'll just make this a contact notice. And right here, contact or reinstate request. I write it at the top right in front of them. And I put their name. And I draw through here instead of delivery, I write declined benefits, right? I make it real to them. You declined your benefits today, February 24th, Friday at 8:10 a.m. And here's the ID number that signifies you decline. Now, Miss Mary, if you ever want to reinstate this request and look at the benefits for your family, you're going to have to call me directly. Just call me directly, and we'll see if we can reopen this. Stick this on your fridge. So that's how I door knock. Now, y'all, Megan Wood is the best at door knocking. She is the best at door knocking, right? She's got training out there. Take her training, take my training, but for goodness sake, take somebody's training who's getting results, pleasing methods versus pleasing results. You get to pick. If you ain't getting the pleasing results, find somebody who's got an uncomfortable method that works and go do that. Y'all, I'm running out of time here. So that's my door knocks. That's what to say. Oh, let me share the screen on what to say, because people always reach out to me afterwards. Take a screenshot, y'all. I'll leave it there for a second. Adapt it, because it's not always what you say. It is definitely how you say it. It's your body language when you say it. It's your the whole way you present yourself when you say it. It's the whole 9 yards, right? It's the total package. And the reason I'm so relentless on this, y'all, is I care about that family on the other side of the door. I really do. They filled that thing out for a reason, and they might be in a terrible mood right now. They might just have just had, 10 telemarketers call them, and their defenses are up, and they're just so tired of people trying to take advantage of them, right? They don't know. And I have to be the calm in the storm. I have to be the one to make every effort to help that family, because I promise you, they are going to die. We don't know when, we don't know how, but they are going to die. And if I don't get in there and help them, I don't know who will. And so I have to do everything I can. So there you go. That's what to say. I showed you how I show up with my clipboard and my activity book. So I've given you some nuts and bolts. And in the pursuit of doing this level of activity, y'all, it's a mind game. It is a mind game. We know it is. There's a reason why people don't make 150 dials before lunch, because it's all up here. They're afraid of what people will say. They're afraid that that they're going to be offended by the number of phone calls. They're concerned about what's going on the other side of that phone. It is a battlefield of the mind. And so this is what keeps the top performers going. This is what keeps them in the fight. Because y'all, we fight the same mental battles. We just show up with firepower. We show up with firepower. When the fight shows up, we're ready to do battle. We're ready to do battle in here. Again, remember, the fight starts right here. The victory starts right in your own home. It starts right in your own office. It starts right on your own phone. That's where victory battle starts. Start fighting it. Stop rolling over as if it shouldn't have been a fight to begin with. You are showing up to battle. Show up with weaponry. Show up with ammo. So here is some notes again from one of my favorite little books. I'm telling you, read it, mark it, highlight it. Do what you got to do. I'm going to share a screen for this one, y'all. Share a screen for this one. So here we have it. Successful people have a strong purpose, strong enough to make them form a habit of doing things they don't like to do in order to accomplish the purpose that they want to accomplish. Y'all, I do not enjoy making 450 dials on a Monday and turn around and doing the same thing again on Thursday and doing the same thing the next week and the next week and the next week, right? But what I do enjoy is being able to go to Ireland with my husband. What I do enjoy is when my daughter needed special treatments for some mental health conditions that she has, we could pay for it. What I do enjoy is being able to travel to convention, right? Being able to travel to convention. What I do enjoy, being able to buy agents leads who are just getting started. What I do enjoy, being able to incentivize them to make it to conference, because I know that's going to change their life. It ain't just going to change their business. It's going to change their life. We are on a mission of changing lives. And I want to leave y'all with my most favorite quote ever. Most favorite quote ever. I'll leave it on the screen for a second. It's there on the left, Joe Louis. I can show you how to box. I can teach you techniques and tricks, all that I know, but I can never make you a fighter. That comes from inside, and it's something no one else can ever give you. Yeah, we can give you the tools. We can give you the techniques. We can give you the tricks. You have to find the fighter inside of you to bring to the fight. You bring your fighter, we will equip you. You bring your fighter, we will train you. You bring your fighter, we will help you win. You bring your fighter and you get knocked down, we'll show your fighter how to get back up. You bring your fighter and we will change the world together. Thank y'all for your time today. I hope it was worth it. I will see y'all at View from the Edge in April 21st through 23rd, Denver, Colorado. Go to theallianceevents.com. Get your tickets. Do not miss the opportunity to change your life forever. Bye, y'all.